Hi, this is Alan with Bay Marine Supply and baymarinesupply.com, and we're here with a Sterling ProCharge Ultra battery charger. These are primarily for marine and RV use, although we do see them in commercial applications as well. And since we're talking about this, we'll also be talking about the ProMariner ProNautic series, which is the same as the Sterling. The differences are the labels and the manual and the box that they come in, and that's about it. The short story is that they were co-engineered and are co-manufactured. The Sterling brand was originally in the UK and the EU, and ProMariner was in the US, North American market. That agreement between them went by the wayside about 5 years ago, and Sterling moved into the U.S. market. They're based out of Maine with their warehouse and offices there. Okay, and what we're going to look pretty closely at is going to be the latest iteration of these, which are CEC compliant, that's California Energy Commission compliant, and that has some energy saving features that we'll talk about a little bit later. On the Sterling side, they're recognizable with the red band at the bottom compared to the gray. On the ProMariner, as far as we know, they're going to remain gray. We're just seeing a few of the new ones coming out. This is the spring of 2015. We expect they'll be rolled out by the end of the year. It's just the more popular models that have a little higher turnover, like this 40 amp unit, that are available with the new compliant rating. All right, let's start by looking at the case. The height is about 10 inches. It's about 8.5 inches wide, and it is roughly 3.5 inches high. The outputs on these on the Sterling line is from 10 to 60 amps at 12 volts, and that's in 10 amp increments, 10 amp, 20 amp, 30 amp. For 24 volts, it has a 20 amp and a 30 amp version. The ProMariner line has a 15 amp as well to add to that. Now, the larger units, which is the 50 and the 60 and the 12 volt, and then the 30 amp and the 24 volt, is about 2 inches taller. Okay, let's open it up. On this side is the AC input. These are clamps. Wire goes in, screw them down. You don't have to wrap the wire around the screw, anything like that. Pretty standard stuff, easy enough to deal with. On this side, DC output with a common negative and usually 3 positive legs coming out. These are 6mm studs, or 1/4 if you're North American, and that is on the 30 amp and up units. On the 20 amp and below, they have clamps that are very much like the AC side. You don't need a lug on the end of your wire. Put it in, screw it down. They fit number 10 wire pretty well. Number 8 will fit in there as well. And the 10 amp charger does not have the 3 legs, it only has the 2 legs. And then the 15 amp for the ProMariner version, or the 20 amp on up for the Sterling units, are all 3 legs. Up here are 2 sockets. One's for the remote console, and the other is for the battery temperature sensor. All of the chargers come with battery temperature sensors, just like that one. They're not optional, they're included, and you'll really want to use them. The charger needs to evaluate the battery temperature, and it adjusts the voltage accordingly, and in extreme cases it may need to back down on the current to avoid overheating the battery. All good quality chargers these days that are, over about 20 amp or so should be including a battery temperature sensor. You can also reduce the output manually from the panel here. You can bring that down to 90%, 80%, so on, of full power. And you might want to do that, for example, if you've removed some battery capacity from your system, or if you want to get a larger charger now and you expect to add more batteries later on. you can limit the output. Make sure that the charger's not going to overheat your batteries. Okay, let's fire this thing up. Fan comes on strong when we start it, then it backs down. First thing it does is go through the self-test. And there we go. So the main readouts, besides the fact that it has power, are system voltage and the amperage flowing right now. We'll see the stage that it's in. It's jumped straight to absorption because it was just on, and it remembers that it was already in absorption mode, so it's going to continue on there. We have the different battery types. There's 11 presets plus a custom that you can set for battery type. It defaults to sealed lead acid because that's a nice safe one. It's not going to do too much damage to any battery if the installer failed to reset it. We can change that by holding down the setup button for about 6 or 7 seconds. We have this flashing, shows the absorption voltage and the float voltage for any particular setting. As we move through the settings, we'll see different results up there. And we can lock that in. And there we go. We are now set for flooded. Okay, and I want to go over the power save function on these newer chargers that are just coming out. That's the CEC, or California Energy Commission standard, though Oregon's already signed on and Washington is debating it, and that's Washington State is debating it, and the Department of Energy's taking comments. So I think we'll see more of that. That's as of May 2015. I'll post a link to a page on our website for more information. But in a nutshell, the charger will cycle in and out of a suspend mode if the battery is not used for 3 days, and there will be no effect on the charger at all if it sees 5 amps of use in any 72-hour period. So I want to stress I don't see a problem with this. I think it's actually a pretty good thing. For more details, again, go to the website. I won't waste our time on that here. So, that said, the charger will function as a power supply even if there's no battery attached. That's a pretty nice feature if you need it, but it's incompatible with the power save function. So we can switch the unit between battery charger mode and power supply mode, and in the power supply mode, it's still a charger. As a matter of fact, it operates exactly like the pre-CEC models. So one way to change that over is to press all 3 buttons here and get a recycle going on it. I find it easier just to shut the power off, bring it back on. And we're going to look up here and we're going to see either BC like that or PS like that. And PS is power supply, BC is battery charger, and all we have to do is reset that, choose which we want, let it go through the self-test, and that will take. There we go. So that's a persistent setting. The charger will retain that setting until you change it again. So here we're in the BC, battery charger energy save mode. If we change it over to power supply, it's just like these were before they got the CEC standard. So pretty easy to deal with. Okay, I have the remote hooked up here, and it comes with 30 feet of cable with phone type plugs, so it goes through a small hole pretty well. And except for putting the charger into standby, it's all about the readout. Shows the info that's on the charger face, the voltage and the amperage and so on and so forth, but also the battery temp, the charger temp, the time remaining on absorption, the percent power output, that sort of thing. It can be recessed into your panel. here, or it can be surface mounted. There's a skirt that goes on here so that it can be mounted to any flat surface without cutting into it. It's a nice to have. It's certainly not required. It can be handy, especially if you do not have any other charge monitor or battery monitor in your system. It'll let you know what the current flow and what the voltage is. That's it for now. If you have any questions on these or any other components, or any comments, or even any abuse, get a hold of us at baymarinesupply.com. We're happy to hear from you. We answer the phone, we answer our emails, and thanks so much for watching.